there's some problems that we weren't able to fix in time for Worlds, and with this new roster, we might have some new problems, but I know that those old problems will be most likely gone, and I'm excited to play with these new players. They're all really well known, and they have just a lot of good understanding of the game, a lot of good skill, and working with them will be really fun.
Soren, how about for you? What are you looking forward to with the new additions to the roster?
I think it's just really motivating to get a whole new set of teammates, motivating for all of us to work harder. And it's just nice with a, I guess, fresh breath of air and having new people come in with their perspective of the game or strategy. I think we'll all learn a lot from that.
For the new guys on the team, what does it mean to be a part of TSM, and what made you guys decide to join the squad?
You go first?
Sure.
Hey, I think both TSM and I had, or me and Mitty, have a lot of things in common, that we have both been destroying our domestic league, EU and LCS, but we had like kind of lackluster performances at MSI or at Worlds. And when you're on a new team, you get this honeymoon feeling where everything is great for a while and everyone has a lot of motivation to, become the best. And I mean, we always have that, but they have a new, fresh breath of air. And TSM is probably the biggest team in America, the best one for sure. And they have, great branding, great sponsors like Gillette, and a great team as well of good players and nice guys. So TSM is the optimal choice for me.
For you?
Well, I've been wanting to join TSM for a while now, but I never really had the right time. It was never really the right time because I wanted to join together with Sven. So now that I'm finally here, it's like a dream come true. I've said it a lot of times, but it really is the truth. I've always wanted to win both EU and NA LCS. That's like my biggest goal right now. So that's something I'm striving for. And I want to also perform at Worlds. I want to do well. And I think that's something that we all have in common in TSM. And also, funnily enough, with Gillette is that we want to be the best. And I think that's something that we're going to achieve together.
Mike, how about for you? What does it mean for you to be a part of TSM, and what do you think you bring to the team?
Well, so personally for me, I'm kind of like an unknown quantity when it comes to my potential. And I knew from the start when 3 years back, that TSM was going to be the best platform for me to improve and for me to reach my heights. And I'm very confident that I'll be able to do that when the time comes for me to really prove that I am the best. And I just appreciate that like gaming and esports is really pushing towards like more professionalism. So with like brands that are coming in from normal sports, from like NFL, from Olympic sports, like Gillette, I really do see like esports reaching like one of the most, viewed games, one of the most viewed audiences, like sports to watch.
I've followed the NBA and followed the NFL for a long time, and I've seen many athletes make very bold predictions at press conferences just like this. So I want to see that in the esports community as well. Do you guys have any big predictions for the 2018 season for TSM?
I think it's pretty obvious that we're going to win the NA LCS. It's kind of a given at this point, but after that, it's kind of hard to tell because we still need to play together as a team to see how we'll perform internationally. I'm hopeful, but I'm not going to make any bold predictions on that.
How about for the new additions to the team? What do you guys think is going to happen in the new season?
I've been in this position before where I said something stupid and then it backfired really hard. So I think it's not too much to claim that we're going to win NA LCS this year and we're going to be the first players to win both EU and NA LCS. But I'm not going to say that, but I think there's a good chance. We will make finals at least, and then we will kind of win.
I'd say the minimum goal should be to win NA LCS and make it out of groups at Worlds.
Minimum goal.
What are you guys doing now that you're assembled and you're here in Los Angeles and you have to work on your chemistry? What are you guys doing around LA? How are you enjoying this great city?
I heard we're going for food.
Taking them out for good food. Mithy just landed last night, so we didn't have a chance to do a whole lot yet, but we're going out for a team dinner tonight and Should probably plan some other activities too. I don't know. There's a lot of things to see and do around LA, and I'm sure we'll go out and do things as a team.
I'm curious, how does that sort of camaraderie and that bond that you guys form from going out to dinner or going to the beach or hanging out in LA, how does that then impact your performance as a team together, as when TSM, plays?
I think the most important thing when we hang out outside of the gaming room and like outside of practice is that we build a bond together so that we can really go into like the small details when it comes to the gameplay and make sure that we're covering every single aspect.
Yeah, I think when you have a solid friendship outside the game, it allows you to kind of be harder and criticize your teammates when there's things that you feel like they should be doing differently, or if they give you criticism, you're able to take that and not be defensive. And if your friends, you know that when they're criticizing you, it's because they want the best for you and the best for your team, not because they're trying to tell you that you suck or something.
Kevin, we talked about how the new additions to the team are going to, help things obviously in the new season. But as someone who's been a part of TSM, how will the new team member in Gillette really help change things, you think, for the upcoming season?
I think it just goes to show that, like Gillette's one of the biggest shaving brands out there, and TSM is also one of the biggest esports brands out there. So the culmination of the two coming together just really helps progress esports as a whole and shows that, we're becoming more mainstream. It's going to become a lot more serious in the future, and that, this is just like the first step going forward for esports.
Enemies will be the most handsome team on stage.
Well, I was going to say, yes, now that you're part of Gillette, you guys are you're gonna be looking fresh. So Soren, if you can go down the line, sort of just break down everyone's look now that everyone's all clean shaven. And, who spends the most amount of time in the mirror every day before you guys practice?
Probably.
I shared a hotel room with Kevin once, and I'm pretty sure he thought I was asleep, and he was checking himself out shirtless in the mirror. So
No.
I think I'll go with Kevin. But he's probably the most handsome with his shirt off too. So.
What do you think is most intimidating? Who's the most intimidating look, you think?
What? No. I'll be Bjergsen because, he's the most famous. He's got 1 million followers on Twitter. It's kind of scary to talk to him, get on his backside. You don't want to do that.
Good stuff, guys. I'm going to open it up now to questions from the press that we have here. Does anybody have a question for Team TSM? Any questions? Bunch of journalists, no questions at a press conference? No, come on. Yeah, here we go. Go for it.
Hi, Travis Gafford for Travis Gafford Esports. Very curious, you had mentioned that you guys had hoped, or Minty, you mentioned you wanted to come over to TSM for a while. Was it always the plan for you this off-season to try to get to TSM, and was it just a conversation between you and Sven? How did that whole negotiation process go?
Well, I can't go into too much detail, but yeah, the main idea for us was to reach. Well, I wanted to go to North America because I had the goal to win the NA LCS. So we wanted to stick together, go to NA, and join a competitive team. And TSM was pretty much the main team for us to look forward to because they excelled at those three things.
Any other questions? I have a question quickly for Andy. Just what does it feel like? You want to come up here quickly. What does it feel like for you to see the entire TSM team up here with Gillette and the jerseys? I can see you smiling in the front row, but I want you to share those feelings with everyone here today.
It's honestly an amazing experience. Going into the off season, there's just so much uncertainty, right? What I wanted out of the off season was I wanted to put together the best possible team. Going to Worlds and losing was so discouraging. I don't want to go and tell you guys like a really long story of why I created TSM, right? But the short version is I only created TSM as a hobby, and the only reason why I created TSM was to really win Worlds. And after such a disappointing season, I went into off-season with the expectation to build the best possible team in the Western Hemisphere. I reached out to every single player that I wanted, the best coach, the best bot lane in the West, and even the best jungle that was in free agency. And I got them all. I'm so proud to have this roster here today with Gillette. We're working with Gillette, best sponsor we can have, working with all these players. They're great. They're amazing. And, they're pretty much the best players in their position in the West. And so I would have to say I got it. I practically got it all this offseason. I couldn't have done better. And I'm just so proud of myself as well, honestly.
Congratulations, that's amazing. With that, I think it's time for us to say goodbye. So one more time, a round of applause for the 2018 TSM roster. I want to thank Gillette, of course, and all of you guys for coming and having us be part of your day. Thank you so much.
For more league interviews and analysis, subscribe to our channel. You can also find stats, discussions, and more on our website and mobile app at blitzesports.com.